Ablekuma North.
Now, on the issue of Ablekuma North, you see, Nana, I will start with senior comrade, though his views appears quite, unfortunately, for some time now to be against the National Democratic Congress government and party. But he still remains my senior comrade. You see, senior, in reality, the NDC has not changed its position when it comes to this current electoral commission. And make no mistake, the NDC is not in any way supporting even the current decision as far as Ablekuma North is concerned. Let us get that fact. We have been consistent from day one that this is an electoral commission that has demonstrated gross incompetence. And for the safety of our democracy, there's the need for us as a people to begin to ask questions. And if need be, activate processes to take them out of these offices for the safety of our democracy. We've been consistent. Remember, and I sympathize with the New Patriotic Party until yesterday because I think that their official position is now known. They have even indicated that they will be unwilling to defend the Electoral Commission against allegations leveled against it by our own national chairman, the National Democratic Congress. And that even if calls are being made for their removal, they will not defend because they believe that indeed this Electoral Commission lacks principle. And that position was made very clear last night by their General Secretary, Justin Kodia. And so that is the official position of the New Patriotic Party. My brother Dennis here can decide to dance around as much as he wants. We have been communicated to as a republic by their General Secretary when it comes to the position of the New Patriotic Party. And it's important. And
but in truth, that is the reality.
Yes.
If we keep shifting posts, then it becomes difficult for anyone to defend.
Yes, but that is the point I'm making, that finally the NPP has come to accept that this Electoral Commission is a serious danger to our democratic stability because of its lack of predictability and lack of principles. And there's the need for us to remove that canker before it consumes our democracy. It's important for us to acknowledge that fact. But you see, comrade, this is not the first time we have raised those concerns. Remember, even in the lead up to the 2020 elections, we had cause to complain about the conduct of Jean Mensah and her deputies. When we went into that election, the NDC, led by the then minority leader, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, had cause to lead our MPs to the Electoral Commission on the issue of Techiman Saf, calling for recollation. And we even demanded the statement of poll that was not given to us. So Techiman Saf also became a topical issue in this country because of the conduct of this Electoral Commission. Indeed, their political party, then in government, decided to take the minority caucus to court, led by Honorable Haruna Idrisi, for engaging in acts that they consider tantamount to breaching the Public Order Act because they did not seek police permission before embarking on that march. Not recently, a tolerant and NDC administration, the same minority bench marched in the name of trying to get their Wontumi out of Yoko cells. Did you hear? The Attorney General said that he was going to take them to court for unlawful breach of the Public Order Act. That is the difference. Anyway, that is just by the way. Nana, so that is the Electoral Commission we are dealing with. It is this same Electoral Commission that for the first time since 1992 decided to prevent the people of Seoul from having representation for 4 good years in Parliament. And the NPP government then found it acceptable. To them, there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. Even when civil society organizations like Imani started raising red flags about that decision and began questioning the competence of Jean Mensah and her 2 deputies, they were quiet. The NDC had cause to provide legal assistance in that regard just to ensure that our people had access to representation, irrespective of the political party those people were going to vote for. We didn't care. It was about the survival and defense of the 1992 Constitution and our democracy. Again, it is the action of this same electoral code, it was their actions that led to military men besieging parliament. Remember? Unprecedented. Because of how they organized and held the 2020 general election. That level of incompetence threatened our democratic stability to a point that we had military officers besieging parliament for the first time. Because of the confusion their conduct brought to state institutions. So this is not the first time we are talking about rerun of polling stations or constituencies. Fast forward, 2024. In fact, before the 2024 general elections, the NDC had cause to raise concerns about the auditing of the electoral register. They shut this down. They decided not to listen. We raised many concerns about the 2024 general elections. They failed to listen. But being compliant in terms of democratic principles, we did not boycott the 2024 general elections, Nana. Regardless of the concerns we had, we participated in that election and ensured that we activated internal processes to protect the sanctity of the votes of the good people of this country. So, if you look at what is happening in Ablekuma, it is not as if the NDC is happy with the Electoral Commission. Let us not create that impression. Because from day one, we were consistent that that election had been won by the NDC's candidate. They decided to play around with the pink sheets. It had nothing to do with NDC people vandalizing pink sheets. Indeed, we fought against the pink sheets the NPP was trying to introduce into the system. That was what we fought against and told them to take it away because they are not mandated in law to organize elections and declare results for us.
Right.
So we refused to accept those petitions, those petitions, and we got our people to prevent them entry to the coalition center with those pink sheets. The constituency of what is the name Anodompe.
In Soamadreji.
Didn't we have a similar challenge? Hasn't the NDC accepted the declaration of the EC? Remember, and he's talking about threats. This is the gentleman, Anodompe, who only did not threaten the Electoral Commission, but the entirety of the Republic of Ghana when he called on His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo not to hand over power to the National Democratic Congress because of the challenges associated with the declaration of parliamentary results. You remember that call? He invited a sitting president of the Republic of Ghana, the NPP, to disregard our constitution simply because they had challenges with the electoral processes in terms of parliamentary seats. That tells you the danger the EC's incompetence poses to our democratic stability. And that is why I made that point from the word go. So, Nana, these are the facts. And he's talking about threats. If indeed what our national chairman said constitute a threat to Jean Mensa, and based on which he has decided to make a U-turn, then Dennis is rather providing more ammunition why they should be sacked or removed from office.
Are you
because I would not be happy to have an electoral commission who can be threatened to change her position because of the utterances of national chairman of a ruling party. We all witnessed the era of Dr. Afarijan. No political party worth its salt could threaten Dr. Afarijan to do things that he felt was not proper in terms of declaration of results. So if Jean Mensa doesn't have that courage, and truly General Asedu is empowered enough to threaten her, for her to bow to that threat, then she should not be allowed to hold that position. And finally, yes, I'll do. Well, you owner
of the city breakfast show. Owner of the city breakfast show. 30 minutes. You almost forgot that it was a panel. It's not a one-on-one.
But you spoke more than that.
No, 30 minutes. Started at 7:47. It's 8:12. 30 minutes.
Now you are the moderator of the show.
That's that we
You see, Nana, see, but finally, so Dennis, agree with us. When it comes to declarations, a threat, if indeed truly I'm not disputing that. If indeed what the chairman said constitutes a threat that she has bowed to, it is the more reason why we cannot continue to have such people sitting there. And when you talk about the removal of security, it is not true that the security of the Jim Mensah has been withdrawn. Remember from day one, again in opposition, the NDC raised questions as to why an electoral commissioner would be protected by military officers when the police were mandated to do so.
Wrap up on this.
So what has happened is that they have withdrawn the military detail and replaced same with police details. You did same to the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Bago. Have you forgotten? In fulfillment of that particular principle. So it is not true that her security has been withdrawn, but I believe, and I now agree, and I'm happy that the General Secretary Justin Kodua agrees that these guys must go for the safety of our democracy.
Thank you.